Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to our Thursday, Thriving Thursday Live. And I want to say welcome to our audience. And of course, if you seeing this on a replay, and we want you to continue to follow us on our social media platforms. So welcome on Facebook and also welcome on YouTube. And of course, we're trying to get our subscribers up. We're trying to get our likes up. And of course, we're trying to expand on the other platforms. So please share this over to the other platforms. Invite your family, friends, and grow our community. Of course, I think you're able to send some stars out there. And so that would be great if you start sending us stars. First on Alliance, of course, you know that we are a nonprofit agency and we're looking at getting monetized on this channel. So we need to grow our audience, and we're going to put out some valuable information. We're going to make sure that we're going to bring some excitement, but we want to empower you with the knowledge that we have to share, and also we'll be bringing on special guests that will be talking on those financial literacy topics. Tonight, week is going to be myself and Charlene, but we want the audience. I want you guys to send us some likes in here. I want you to go ahead and send us some stars, and most importantly, send us some comments. Send us some comments. I see a comment coming in okay already, and also I want to see some more comments. If you're commenting out on social media, editing up those platforms, we'll be monitoring those platforms, so I'll be taking a look at that. We have some help backstage, and so just continue to send those in, and we will address those comments and communicate with you out there. So that's what we want to do. All right. So as we're getting started this evening, I want to go ahead and bring in Charlene here. Charlene, go ahead and welcome our audience.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our Thriving Thursday conversation. Like Larry said, we got some good information that we're going to be giving out and talking about this evening. But before we get to that, as always, we like to introduce ourselves to our audience because we know every week we get someone new who may not have heard about First Home Alliance. And so this is our opportunity to introduce you to First Home Alliance. We are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency established by our president and founder in 2002. After serving 25 years or close to 25 years in the United States Army, he served his country, then he transferred to serving his community. What is our mission? Our mission is to increase home ownership to low to moderate income family, along with serving our veteran community. The services that First Home Alliance provides, we provide pre-purchase counseling, education, counseling. I want to buy a house. I have no idea where to start, what to do. We're going to talk to you. We're going to look at your finances and figure out, hey, how do we achieve that? How do we help this individual get to the finish line? There's a lot of myths in home ownership, and we dispel that within that one-on-one counseling session and get you to build the right team that's going to represent you. So that's our pre-purchase counseling. Education is our Thriving Thursdays. You can consider that education. We also have a first-time homebuyers class, usually once a month in the Northern Virginia area. We also offer loss mitigation services. And so what is that? I bought a house. I'm holding on with a thread, and I need somebody to help me to be able to prevent myself from going to foreclosure or to sustain home ownership. So First Home Alliance acts as an advocate to get that person in a more sustainable situation. That is our loss mitigation services. We also offer rental counseling as well as emergency preparedness, as well as credit counseling, things of that nature. Where are these services offered? We are located in Virginia, Maryland, as well as the South Side of Chicago. But again, you heard me say it every night, every Thursday night. I'm going to say it again tonight. It doesn't matter where you are located. If the services that I just went over piques your interest, you're interested, please stay tuned to the end of our program so you can hear how you can get in contact with us. Without further ado, I'm going to throw it back to Larry so we can get into our Thursday Thriving topic for tonight. Larry?
Sooner or later, yes, there we go. Yes, and so yes, so thank you, Charlene. And again, thanks our audience. And of course, would like for you. We have topics, and I'll give you the topic that's going to be coming up next week. But this is a Thursday, Thriving Thursday, and it's not just we are talking about thriving, about talking ourselves, but we're talking about our community. We want to ensure that our community is thriving, but we want to empower you with knowledge. But we also want to empower you some information that you may want us to actually bring up, and we'll bring in our some industry experts, and we're going to talk on those subjects. And so this evening, we're going to talk about the long-term growth, financial growth. And so it's actually four items that I'm going to concentrate a little bit on and share that information with you in reference to this growth. And again, I will repeat out here. Please, please, please send us the comments. We're looking out for your comments, and we want to continue to communicate with you. And so please bring that information in. And so when we're talking about long-term financial growth, there are any time you're speaking of financial planning, financial growth, or making a move basically for your future, we want to talk about setting goals. And so setting that goal. And so when we talk about setting goals, we talk about setting up a SMART goal. And so that is, basically where you sit down, when you're talking about a goal, you want to ensure that the goal that you're planning is specific. And so some may say, well, I know we talk about weight. And so if you just said that I would like to lose weight, of course that can be a goal. That's an objective that you would like to achieve. But we want you to be very specific in reference to setting these goals. And so rather than saying that you would like to lose weight, we want you to be very specific in reference to making it specific. You want to say, hey, and I guess the statement that you're going to make is going to be talking about making it specific. When you talk about making it specific, you're going to ensure that it's measurable. So a specific goal that it is measurable. And when we talk about measurable, and then it's sort of good to put some measurement elements into it. So some of the measurable elements into measuring weight would be inches or pounds or calories or something of that sort. And so making it measurable, you would say a number, a number of pounds that you would like to. And so you ensure that you can measure as you're moving towards that goal. And also, in reference to making this a SMART goal, you want to ensure that it is achievable. Of course, if you're speaking of weight, you're speaking of being healthy, and if it's a weight that you can achieve, that's within your ability to do so. And so, if you convert that to financials, achievable goal, are you bringing in the amount of income that it's going to take for you to invest in a certain vehicle or product so that you can reach that goal, that investment goal. So in weight, is it achievable? And it's not just something that's arbitrary or something that's really outside your capability. So is it achievable? And then next, we'll want to ensure that it's relevant. And so if the goal is relevant, if it's relevant to your situation, is it a relevant goal for you to achieve? And then the last thing is in reference to making a SMART goal is time. You want to ensure that it's time bound, that you have a way to put a specific time, a time period that you will attain this goal. And also, I've got to add one other in there, is to help you be accountable, is make sure that you have an accountability partner or someone that's going to make sure that they hold you accountable, that you can basically report to and say, this is where I'm at, and this is where I'm going, and this is what I've achieved so far. And so, again, that is when you're setting these goals, you want to ensure that you're speaking of a goal and you're making it specific and you're making it SMART. And so making it a SMART goal, we're talking about specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound in reference to setting that specific goal. And so these goals that we're speaking of in reference to financial growth, long-term financial growth, could be goals. Some individuals may want to look at planning to retire, or some may be looking at to attain a certain level of wealth. And so some may be just looking at to become solvent, and others to actually get out of debt. So it's different financial goal for long-term planning, but most of our long-term planning is mostly geared towards retirement, retirement planning. We are reaching that, that, I don't know if you want to call it a plateau, but a retirement plan and retirement for some could be that place where you, for me personally, it's actually having the freedom to choose, freedom to, to continue to, serve value to the community, freedom to make a choice to continue to serve, and whether physically serve or bring back those skills that you have, or share the skills and talents that you have. But you have the freedom to do that, and not necessarily forced, if you say, by time constraints or the need for additional money to survive. That freedom to set the level of output that you would like to spend your time on providing those services of value to the community, and freedom to actually move. If you would like to not necessarily move residents, but move in time of seasons, time of year, if you would like to go places, visit when you want to make vacations. So that retirement for some looks different for different individuals, but I think retirement is actually a level where you have the freedom, or you should consider having freedom doing for your retirement planning. Also, another type of goal would be for education and general wealth. Then setting a goal to attain a level of education, but also in these times, it could be setting a goal to pay for that educational debt, that you was accumulated while seeking your education, or going to the financial institution is quite expensive to attend, and then that's debt that have to be paid off. And of course, a goal of financial goal, a long-term goal could be gaining wealth. And we're going to talk about some of those things and some of the different vehicles that you can actually use to actually help you to obtain those goals. And some of the vehicles and goals, it could include real estate. And also it can include some other investments. It's where there's milestones in reference to what you have now, that there's benchmarks that you want to hit and move towards as you're moving towards your financial goal. And of course, if you want to get it to the high level of philanthropy, and also legacy building and legacy planning, that's an area that you can set goals to attain. And during your journey, you want to be ensure that you are planning, you are adjusting, and you're going to be prepared for the difference in inflation, and because the inflation, and also being prepared for emergencies. That is something that you have to plan for. Emergency is not necessarily if they're going to happen. It's basically when they're going to happen. And so let's go ahead and get started here. And we want to continue. I'm checking to see if we have any comments there. Please continue to send your comments in there. And I want to say hello. I do see some of our members that are following us out on social media. On Facebook, I see. And we of course have been on Facebook for a number of years, and so we have quite a bit of audience there, and we're just now opening up to the other platforms. So on Facebook there, Kim, if you want to send us a star out there, please, you can go ahead and ask me how to send stars, but I have someone else here, one of our interns for the summer, that will be able to give me instructions just in case that question is asked when in reference to sending stars and all some of the other things that you do out on social media. So I will be asked in that. And we also have them out there monitoring your comments as well, that can respond and answer some of those questions that before they get to me. So we're gonna try to answer any technical questions that I answer, so I don't have to embarrass myself to let you know that I don't know at this time. But I will continue and try to find those the answers for whatever questions you may have. I want to talk about these four different areas, and so four areas, four vehicles. Of course, I'm open for comments, and I would like for you to share. Maybe then I know there's more than just these four vehicles, but the four vehicles that I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to spend more time on the last two. The last two, because I have more experience in those areas, and so the four different vehicles that we're going to be talking about this evening is one is the retirement accounts, two is brokerage accounts. Three would be real estate investments, and then four, entrepreneurship and small business. And so, of course, my history, I have a wealth of knowledge in reference to the real estate and as an investor, and also licensed real estate agent. And for nearly 20 years now in Virginia, where have used my license mostly for investment and also entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship, believe it or not, businesses and nonprofit is actually a business as well. It's just a tax exempt status that you have. So we may speak of philanthropy and community organization and foundations and things of that sort, but actually it's a preneur type venture to take on to start a nonprofit. And so we're going to get to those. What I want to do is start talking about retirement accounts. And so the number one investment vehicle the first investment vehicle that we'll talk about this evening is retirement accounts. And so these retirement accounts, they have a lot of names. I think some of the basic retirement accounts would be your IRA and also a 401k. And of course, the IRA that is highly recommended that you go ahead and convert over from the regular IRA to your Roth IRA. And these accounts they're fairly well known in the market. Most of your businesses and firms and companies that you work with offer some type of plan where you can make contributions into their 401, or if you have a 401 that you have actually participated in, will allow you to put your funds there. And of course, when it comes to IRAs, that's individual retirement accounts, where you're able to choose the institution and put your money into an IRA, and they can be converted from one to the other. Again, I mentioned that if you have an IRA, traditional IRA, you can also convert that to a Roth IRA. And the advantages of the Roth, traditionally, when I first started to invest in an IRA, was that we felt that your income would be less in your latter years, so you had a choice not to pay the tax up front. For whatever reason, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 years ago, when we looked at retirement age of being around 62, 65 years old, history had showed that a person's income would have decreased over that period of time. So when you're 40, this is what your income would be. Of 50 would be the peak of your income earning potential. And by the time you are retired at 62 and you receive your retirement pay, then your income would drop dramatically. Now that still happened. Traditionally, when a person retired, the income level do decrease. And it depends on the industry you're in. It depends on what retirements you have, I've been in the military and also around a lot of some mature gentlemen that I work with today. They have multiple retirements. And so their retirements, now I have some of my comrades that are 80 years old. So a lot of them are over 75. And so I'm working with comrades anywhere from the age of 75 to 100 years old on our comrades. And many are well in their 80s and 90s. And so if you look at their income levels where they are now at 80 years old, it surpassed when they're retired at 65. And so So if you're looking at the income basis, and that when I'm 70 years old or over 70, and whenever I start receiving my benefits from IRA, that my income level would be less and a tax burden would be less than when I was 40. That may not be true. That may not be true. Your tax basis could be higher at the latter age. And so Roth IRA gives you the advantage of that is actually for you to go ahead and pay the taxes up front. That way you will be receiving a tax-free dividends or earnings while your money is tax sheltered. And so that is the advantage of taking advantage of the Roth IRA. It is definitely a recommended vehicle to use for retirement. There are some penalties in reference to early withdrawal, but there's a very large participation in your 401ks with your corporations. Even with the nonprofits, some of the nonprofits have the 401b that can contribute and match as well, and give their employees opportunity to contribute. There's some other there's caps in reference to your annual contribution, and also some flexibility in reference to how you diversify your investments in your 401. And so, again, remember there is early withdrawal penalties. And so just like any of the other retirement vehicles, you want to make sure that you are consistent with that, but you're taking in consideration that you have another type of planning, that you do have plan of savings set up so that when emergencies happen, you're able to take care of those emergencies without tapping into the retirement, because there are penalties for early withdrawal. And so that is your 401 and your IRA, which is one of the vehicles that for retirement. The next one that I was, and again, we're looking for comments, and please give us comments. Let us know that you're with us out there. And also send us stars. We're really looking for stars to come in. Those stars on our new account there, we switched to a professional account so that they would like for us to request those stars. They are being noticed when you send us stars. And also you see it's a bell that's out there for our YouTube. And so we want you to go ahead and subscribe. You subscribe, you like the channel, you subscribe to the channel, and also that you will hit the notification bell. So anytime that we go live, then you're going to be able to get notified, and you're going to be able to join us. We're going to talk about an event that's going on this weekend. And so we'll see as we're talking to see if, since I just mentioned it, and see if we can bring up the flyer for that weekend. So we're going to be bringing that up and see if we can get that on screen here. And so we'll have that flashed up here shortly. And then, yes, can you bring up the... Yes. Yeah. It will not let you bring it up. Yeah, put it up as yes. Yes, and so there we go. That's the size of our flyer right now, but that flyer is for the African American Heritage Festival that's going to be held this weekend. It's going to be in Manassas. So if you're in the area, Northern Virginia, please come out to Manassas. That's on the 2nd of August. We'll be at the Metz Middle School. First Home Alliance will be there, and also the American Legion Post 114. This event is a large event. This is a 32nd annual event. It's well attended. There's good food out there. You're going to have dancing, and of course the car show. I really enjoyed the car show, and you're going to have a lot of vendors And so we will be one of the vendors out there. Want to come down and visit our booth, and we'll be sharing a lot of great information with you. And again, the American Legion Post 114 will be there as well. And so come out and visit our comrades. So we look forward to seeing you. That is this weekend. And so please come out on Saturday. And so the time is going to be 11 a.m. From 11 a.m., if I'm not mistaken, until 5. You can come out. Of course, make sure that you're hydrated. If not, we'll have some things there to help keep you hydrated as well if you're able to visit our booth. All right. And so we'll move on talking about this long-term savings, long-term building your wealth, and some of the vehicles. And so we mentioned one vehicle was talking about our IRA and our 401k. The next one is the brokerage accounts. And so brokerage accounts, we're talking about purchasing stocks and bonds. It is highly recommended if you don't have the time and expertise to actually get into the securities, then there's many sources out there. There are some brokers. There's that actually would love to bring you on. There's some different companies, where it's Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab. There's some, and also you can actually, many individuals that I know now open up their own accounts. So if you have an account with some of your major banking institutions, I know the institution I use that will actually link your account with your investment account. What's recommended is that you do, I'm going to say, a dollar cost averaging, where that you invest a certain amount of money on a regular basis, whether that's per paycheck. Would be a good way to start, and make your purchases pretty steady. And also do your research. If you're doing an investment yourself, do your research or get advice from a broker that will help distribute your funds, your investments, and it's recommended that you diversify. Yes, some of the stocks are very popular. You have the well-known blue chip stocks. You have the different platforms that you're able to purchase, and you want to also not only invest in stocks, but you also have the opportunity to invest in bonds. You have the ETFs as well, and one that I've invested over a number of years is in mutual funds. Mutual funds, I like to call it families. You can select a particular family within a mutual fund family, and whether you invest in one family or more, you can do that. And even within those families, maybe the Franklin or whatever that you may be interested in, then you can also diversify within that, where you want to look at growth and income, and so different types of options that you have in reference to selecting your funds. And so again, a broker fund account is definitely an option. There are stock auctions that you want to look at, and also where you're also, when speaking of stock, stock is actually ownership within a company. So when you're buying stock, there's common stock, and also there's preferred stock. And so preferred stock is really sets, if you want to say, on the liability side of the company, whether there's going to be a percentage, and when there's profit, then it's a percentage that will be paid out to the shareholders. And those that are on a preferred, it's more of a, I'm going to say that it's more predictable, if you want to say your repayment on a preferred stock versus a common stock may be less predictable. But when you're speaking of less predictable, you're talking about a higher risk, but there's also a higher return. And so your common stock is a little bit different in reference to the company, and it's more on the ownership side of the company. So the dividends is dividend heavy in reference to the amount that you get, and also, of course, I hate to use the term unlimited, but basically it's based on the growth of the shares, the improvement that you can actually a gain on dividends on your stocks. Some of the stocks actually pay dividends. Then you also have stock that do not pay dividends. And so the stock that do not pay dividends basically is just based on the increase in value. And so if you're looking at as the value of the stock increased, the price of appreciation increased, and then you're speaking of, you're really going to get your gain when you trade it or basically sell it. That's when you're able to see the gain or loss on that stock. What would be recommended is that you look at stocks that pay a dividend, so that you're going to receive earnings on a dividend, and also you receive gain on the sale. And so those are some of the options in reference to when talking about stocks. Now bonds is a little bit different, but they are traded as well. Some may say bonds are for long term, but not necessarily. Just like stocks, you want to when you're in the market, it is a long game. It's not a short game. It is a long game. This is not funds that you may need in an emergency. So you want to make sure that you're playing a long game. Recommended that you set yourself some goals in reference to your goal of reaching a certain level. Saying that, once I double my money, if you want to use that term, once you double, or if you want to look at when I gain 20% or 40% or whatever that percentile into that level of risk, and then you want to maybe look at either diversifying from that, and then or putting your money on the table, but putting some in something that's more secure, more stable, so that you lower your risk, and then your gains continue to seek out opportunities to increase those. And so, again, I highly recommend you sit down and talk to a financial planner, a professional, and actually setting those goals in reference to going into and purchasing stocks. Now, the next level that we want to talk about is the investment in real estate. And so this area, real estate investment, and there's really a lot of different ways to invest in real estate. There's actually real estate funds, there's also real estate investment groups of investors that invest in real estate. Some just invest in real estate stocks. And so I would speak of basically investing in real estate as rental or just buy and resell. Some individuals use the term buy and flip. And so buy and resell. In some cases, you can purchase real estate in whole. You buy in whole, and you do want to make sure that you're not in a situation where you're holding and you're losing. So sometimes you may have to put money into the improvement to improve the property, so that while you're holding on to the property, it's going to be income gaining. It will gain income as you hold. So if you do purchase a property that is not up to standards, not up to code and things of that sort, you may be able to get it for a decent price, but you want to invest in there to make sure that you can bring it up to standards, so that you can make the best use of that property. And if it is residential property, then the best use is going to be to actually put residents in that residents in the property. And so of course that the more residents that you can handle in a property, really the higher the income generation is going to be in reference to your cash flow. And so holding property is all good. I say all good in most cases. And so there's some upfront costs that you may have to invest to get into the property. There could be holding costs to while you have the property. And of course, if you're not paying 100% of the property, then the holding cost is going to be your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And so and then the other cost on that is just regular maintenance that you're going to have to do on that property. And so having residents in the property, it sounds good. I'm telling you, it sounds good to have tenants in your rental property. They are paying your mortgage for you, if you want to use that term. But it comes with a lot more than just collecting rent. There's a lot of liability with that, a lot of responsibility in reference to a landlord holding property. Um, if they, I guess, if you use the property for data centers or something like that, it may be less of a maintenance or upkeep. But when you're talking about tenants, the when we're speaking of maintenance upkeep, a lot of dealing with not only the maintenance and upkeep of the physical, but it's also the relationships that you have with tenants. And so, uh, if you're not a person that can deal with the human issue, the human challenge of daily life, then it's probably good to have another partner that can deal with that, or actually turn it over to a management company that can actually manage that for you. And so, personally, I do a little bit of both. And so, or I say both, all three. And so, some that I manage personally, and may have to work with the tenants a little bit. Some that there's, family member that can deal with some of the situations. And then others where I have a management company. And so it's nearly totally hands off. And so, and actually it depends on your time and commitment and your abilities to where you need to be involved in that, or if it's going to be hands off. The hands off with that, okay, we see someone else out there that threw up a like, and I want to say hi out of to the partner that's out there, and thank you for joining us on our live, and definitely enjoy you being there. And also, it's okay for you to go ahead and throw it. I see the thumbs up there. I also, I was going to say I saw a star, but I'm seeing stars everywhere. So these stars, I think, coming from the flag up here. All right, but go ahead and send us some stars out there if you're able to send stars. I really don't know how to do that, but I understand it says that we would get credit for the stars. So yeah, I just saw something else pop up there. That could have been a star. I saw something come up there. So I want to say, yes, hello, Kim and Renee. Yeah, you guys out there. Thank you for joining us today. And so we was talking about that investment property. That is a vehicle that is well used around in our area here. Uh, when you speaking of purchasing a property, you buying a property that's a lot of the military individuals buying a property that is affordable, that fits within your income range. And after a few years, if you have to transition, or if it's a situation where you want to move up, you're allowed to do that. And actually, the property that you purchase, convert that over into a rental. So that has been able to happen. Again, on your next purchase, you still have to stay within affordability. If you're making income positive on your original purchase property, then it's going to help out on reference to what you qualified for and purchase on the next one. And so you can continue to do that as much risk that you're able to withstand. And so, is it a good investment? Can you build a retirement on that? Well, you can actually have that as a tool and put it in your repertoire, and actually make it your one of your retirement plans. And you can see over a period of years where the income, you can see where, well, of course, when the mortgages are paid off, you'll be able to see the profits. But you also want to look at it. It may be a situation where the mortgage may not be paid off. It may be you may have to use. It may be advisable to actually use the property as leverage, and so that leverage, whether that leverage into investing in other real estate properties, or investing in other vehicles of retirement, and so those properties can be used at, and using the funds from your property is a lot less than borrowing money from the bank. And so if you look at, just for instance, if you want to go to the bank and borrow, I don't know, unsecured, of course, if it's an unsecured loan, then you're probably looking at upwards of 18% and maybe even at 24 and 29% just on an unsecured loan. Whereas if you purchased on the same amount of money, we're talking about 50,000, 100,000, the money that you may need, where you're paying 18 to 29% on that. If you actually have 100,000 equity in your property and you use a line of credit, then you're talking about an interest rate of maybe 7%. Or maybe even less on a refinance. But having a line of credit is definitely advisable to have. They do come with a term, so whether you use the funds right away or you want to have it available for you, it's at a 15-year term, and then at the end of the 15 years, then you can go and basically open up another line. And so when you're able to use that, then you're paying very low interest. And so that interest that you're borrowing from the property is basically using your property like it is if you want to say, like it's at a bank, to borrow money from and repay. And so it's definitely a vehicle that you look at refinance, continue to invest, but also building that portfolio for retirement, where the incomes from the property will actually be a residual income for you in the retirement. Okay, the next vehicle that we're going to talk to, and then we're going to talk about some other things in reference to what's coming up later for this year as well. Okay, we're back. All right, all right. And so we're going to continue there. And so now we're going to talk about the next product we're going to talk about for a retirement vehicle is entrepreneurship and opening up a business. And so another one that is experienced now, and there's a lot of different businesses that can be opened up, and uh, investing in small business is something that many individuals that pursue. And what my advice would be that you seek something that's your passion. And so, not of course, there's businesses that are lucrative, but entrepreneurship it takes a commitment. And so, and with that commitment, you want to ensure that you are doing something that you enjoy doing. Um, there's, of course, there's a monetary investment, but there's a personal investment in time. Entrepreneurship, yes, it's fun being, if you want to say, your own boss. It's fun, doing those things. It is rewarding. Um, but in entrepreneurship, more than likely, you're going to work a lot longer hours. And in the beginning, you're going to get the pay. It's not going to be as uh, what's expected in most cases. And so longer hours, doing a whole lot more in reference to it's not like when you're working in maybe in corporate and you are the production manager or the IT directors, then you work in that particular area, and there's certain things you said that's not my area, and then there's someone down the hall that does the payroll, or someone does marketing, and someone working in the finance department, and someone procurement and things of that sort. Being an entrepreneur, you're gonna put all those hats on, and so I've been in a situation where they say, well, take this back to your finance department. We're talking about a grant or something like that. Okay, I'll take it back. And it may be something else they're talking about, some SOPs or something. Like, take this to HR, like, okay, gotcha, gonna take that back to HR. And so those being an entrepreneur, you're gonna wear those hats. But as an entrepreneur, you can actually decide in reference to what you want to keep in house. What do you want to gain the expertise in? How much you want to diversify yourself, and how much you want to educate yourself. So do you want to take on that task of payroll? Do you want to take that on or not? Do you want to take that task on, IT and things of that sort? Or do you want to outsource and bring that expertise in? And so those are some of the choices that you can make. And sometimes you're forced that have to deal with them in the early stages, and then later you can have options to move out. But I would say entrepreneurship is great, and I would highly recommend individuals that would like to step out and start their own businesses. Then please do so. Do your research. Actually, I will be doing some webinars coming up in the future. Actually, some of the things that you go through step by step in reference to coming together with your plan, in reference to getting your SS4 and setting up your entities and things of that sort, and going through those particular steps for individuals that would like to pursue that, to move out, from employee to entrepreneurship. So definitely, that is one of the vehicles. And also, been an entrepreneur in reference to retirement, whether that's going to be something that you're building that's going to live forever, or that you're going to pass it on to the next generation, whether it's a legacy. But also, a lot of businesses today, you get it to a point where you can actually sell the business off. And that sale of the business could be the retirement plan. And so there's many things that you can do in reference to that particular vehicle in reference to a retirement. So, but it is in small business. I'm quite sure that there's over 60% of the new jobs on an annual basis that are basically are generated through small business. And so it is a vehicle that should be considered into your plans in reference to retirement. Okay, we're going to wrap this up, and I want to tell everyone, thank you guys for coming on for our Thriving Thursday Live. And we're gonna just go down some announcements here. We want you to mark your calendars for upcoming events now on a weekly basis. And I think it was our yoga instructor's birthday. I think I saw her out there today and on social media, and she was dancing around and said something like she gave an age, but believe me, in reference to spirit and flexibility and agility and things of that sort, you wouldn't predict what her age is. But it's her birthday, and so that's Tippy. Tippy is our yoga instructor. She kicks off all our major events. And so if you come out in November, if we have our workshop during the day, where she's going to be there. And when she cannot join us in person, she always joins us virtually. But she kicks off every week. And so every week when we kick off our weekly She kicks off on Monday. So Monday morning at 7:15, you can join us live. Right now, we're live on Facebook, but actually, we're going to see if we can get live, put that over on the other platform. And so on YouTube, and then we're also going to be looking at the other platforms, Instagram and what other platforms that we can cross over on. But that is 7:15 on every Monday morning, and of course you're able to go and pull up that recording at any time to kick our week off with Tippy. Now, next Thursday, of course, we'll continue our Thursday lives. And that Thriving Thursday Live next week, we're going to be talking about, it's going to move into August. And so August, the month is going to be smart saving strategies. And so on the first week in August, we're going to talk about the power of compound interest. So that is on next Thursday, which is the 7th of August. We're going to be talking about the power of compounding interest. And so we're going to talk about that rule of 72. If you ever heard of that, we're going to talk about that on next Thursday. Now, this weekend, I already mentioned about this weekend. If you're in the area, that's in Manassas, at the Metz Middle School, we'll be there, and the event kicks off at 11 a.m. So please come out there and visit us there tomorrow. That's on tomorrow. Coming up at the end of the year in November, we was trying to pull up our cards here. We can't get the flyer up. I'll make sure we have the flyer visible next week. But we are already on, it's playing on some of our social media. It's on our website. We're still developing that page. And so you will not be able to register on the website yet. However, you can register on Eventbrite. And so we will have material out there. You hit the QR code, you'll be able to go on Eventbrite, and we'll have the website up within a few days. So you can go ahead and register for the early bird special for our gala. And so that gala is going to be on November the 8th this year, and it's going to be held at the Garden Inn in Woodbridge. And so please come out. This is a new location. It seemed that it's going to be relaxed out there. We're going to get away from the mixing bowl here. We was in the Springfield. Of course, we moved up to Springfield, try to give opportunity to those guys that are moving, coming in from DC and Maryland, be easy for them to access to the venue. Well, this year it's at the Garden Inn in Woodbridge, just it's a couple of more minutes down the Beltway, and it's going to be on a Saturday. So on a Saturday, and if you come in, it kicks off about 6 p.m. And so if you're on the road about 5 or so to come down, it shouldn't take you on a couple of minutes more to get down to Woodbridge. And it's not far off the 95. I want to say the exit is 156, but it could be 158. But get off the exit there. And so the Garden Inn Hotel is still one in the family of Hilton, and not far away. Nice facilities there, and we look to have you there. So that's going to be on November the 8th. And also, we would like for you to consider joining the American Legion Post 114 for the luncheon. The luncheon is going to be 11:30 on the same date, November the 8th, 11:30 to 1, where we'll be honoring our veterans for a Veterans Appreciation Luncheon on November the 8th at the same venue in Woodbridge. Those tickets are on sale as well. And so we will have the materials printed tomorrow with the QR codes. You'll be able to see that on social media. So again, go ahead and get your early bird tickets for the Military Appreciation Luncheon, which is November the 8th, which is going to be at the Garden Inn in Woodbridge, November the 8th from 11:30 to 1. And also go ahead and get your early bird ticket to the gala, the awards gala, First Home Alliance Awards Gala. That's going to be on November the 8th. To kick off the network reception at 6 p.m. And then at 7:30 p.m., that's when the formal presentation will start. At 6 p.m., it's going to be a networking reception. Look forward to seeing you there. But we're also looking for sponsors. You're looking at branding your company that would like a sponsorship, or come in and reserve a table. It's a time to go ahead and do that. And you can contact me directly if you would be interested in sponsoring and advertising for this event. So contact me directly. Call our main number is 703-580-8838, and my extension is 106. That's for sponsorships and branding. Please give us a call. And of course, Charlene already mentioned earlier about our services. Of course, if you are looking for services, First Home Alliance, check out our website. That's at firsthomealliance.org. On firsthomealliance.org, if you're looking for one of our services, you're in need of services with rental assistance, a homeowner, becoming a homeowner, or you're already a homeowner, a home buyer, home buyer education, or a homeowner that may be looking at budgeting or even a prevention of foreclosure or even reverse mortgage, then of course go to our website, hit the service tab and complete the registration, and then we'll get you in for the orientation and then set you up for one-on-one with one of our counselors. Okay, and so again, thank you guys, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Continue to follow us on social media. I see the hands up out there, and I want to say thank you for joining us, and continue to follow us on social media. Click like and subscribe on YouTube and the notification bell so that you will see us when we go live. You have a great evening. We'll see you next time.